Hey everyone, here's my final verdict, and this time I'm looking at a game that came out very recently. It's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It's a game that I've been looking forward to since it was first revealed without a name, but simply known as Dragon Ball Project Z. Yamcha. I like that Naruto game on 360, both of them. I heard that the one on the PS... What?
So the power I felt was coming from you, huh? Oh, yeah. Krillin said you're fighting on our side now.
He's scared. He's slowly gliding away from Piccolo.
Let me try.
The game's story pretty much follows Dragon Ball Z from the Saiyan Saga and concludes with the Buu Saga. There are also intermissions. For example, after finishing the Saiyan Saga, you're able to roam around the world looking for Dragon Balls, hunting for sub-stories, training to level up, all before you continue the story and head to Namek. While the game is subtitled Kakarot, you spend more time as other characters than Goku himself, due to the fact he gets injured and is healing up, or, well, dead. The game actually starts with Gohan and Goku doing some fishing before heading to Kame House, where everything really kicks off. It's done as a tutorial, so you can get the feel for fishing, fighting, exploring the world on foot and in the sky via the Flying Nimbus. The Flying Nimbus, for those who are unaware, is a golden cloud Goku uses, and he got this in Dragon Ball as a child. It shows the world is pretty large, but while it appears to be open world at first, it's not quite. It's more semi-open world. To go from one area, say Goku's home, to Kame House, you need to go to the map and fast travel to the area in which the Kame House is. And when you are able to fly around using your ki, then you can get around really quickly, which happens early on. We can't talk Dragon Ball Z without talking about the fighting. The fighting is rather good. The combat feels meaty and weighted, but every hit seems to have an actual impact. It's also fast paced. You're able to use various ki blasts, from simple shots of ki to the Masenko, to the Kamehameha, to the Spirit Bomb, and then you have a bar that fills. It's called the Tension Bar. When full, you can use that to do more damage, and each punch and kick shakes the screen and makes more impactful noises and increases the rumble of your pad to emphasize the power of the hits. While the combat is rather good, I'd say it's just that, rather good. It's, going by my awful memory, very reminiscent of the Tenkaichi and Xenoverse games. And while the freedom to move around and have larger scale battles makes much more sense and feels right with Dragon Ball Z, the combat in games like Budokai series and Dragon Ball FighterZ just feels to be more versatile. The game, like other RPGs, has a skill tree for each character. The skill tree is used to unlock some attacks or make them more powerful, but some abilities and upgrades are locked off in the tree until you have reached a certain point in the game, and even some of them you have to go to a training ground to unlock them by fighting up to 3 other fighters. Sometimes it's Piccolo and Gohan, other times it's 3 Gokus. How 3 Gokus? It's meant to be mental visual training, I believe. It's all in the mind. He's dead.
Now, Boo has to kill 8 people while we...
Visually, the game is lovely to look at, and the world generally is very pleasing to the eye. You have a wide variety of biomes, so you can get some pretty lovely landscapes to see. There are desert-like areas, while mainly are sand and dirt. You do get interesting things to see, like dinosaurs or giant dinosaur bones. You have forestry with lush green trees and grass. There's a snow area which has a big lake surrounded by snowy hills, and an area with the Kame House, which is mostly the sea with a few islands dotted about nearby. On top of that, there's Namek with its green seas and skies. It also has purple grass. King Kai's tiny planet is there, and also Supreme Kai's world. All are interesting and all are wonderful to look at. The character models for the main cast of characters are all detailed nicely, and the animation is fluid and clean. The issue I have with the NPCs in the game is that they kind of look half-arsed. Even though they use the same eyes, nose and mouth as other characters, they just seem off. Not only that, there isn't much way in the variety of people you speak to, as the same models are used all too frequently. The battles are also a feast for those sexy eyes of yours. With the speed at which things happen, and then all the various key blasts with the various colours and styles, it can look really interesting to say the least. The game audio is also good. You have music from the show playing at various points, and the game even starts with Head Chala and his own montage version of the Dragon Ball Z opening. The music in the show, from memory, was different in the Western version. I think the music in the game is all from the Japanese version of the show. I'll be completely honest and say I am unaware of what music is new and what isn't, but it all suits the game and what is happening on screen at the time. I played the game with English voice acting and it seemed alright. I watched Dragon Ball Z in English back when it was first on Cartoon Network, but I've watched all the Dragon Ball stuff in Japanese since, and I found the voices jarring as I'm simply not used to them. The good thing is, if you prefer one dub over the other, you can change them, though oddly, only in the main menu on the game's title screen. All in all, I've had a good time with the game. I did have a few glitches in my 50 hours playtime, but they were few and far between. It's a game I'd recommend to people who enjoy open world games due to the traversal being enjoyable and quick. And there's a fair bit to see, even though there's not of massive amounts to do, as like most open world games, side missions feel a bit like busy work. And this has that in there. Just general generic side stuff, but overall the package is well done, and while there is the generic side stuff here, getting about as quickly as you can does make it feel less tedious than most open world games. Anyway, my score for this game is 8 Pugsleys out of 10.
Right! Looks like I'm... Oh, wow. Who are these?
One more time.
Wait! I said wait! A license isn't something. It's to ensure that you can drive safely.
Like I care about that. I will not accept defeat from the law.
Like I
think
care
I'm starting to
about
get a
that.
hang of this whole driving thing, don't you? Let's go, Piccolo. Come on, let's do this.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.